once again, a warm welcome to Flight Sim and other stuff on Looking at His Watch, Sunday the 18th of April. And it's been a busy week. Back to normal after the short intermission from last week. Today was HRH Prince Philip's funeral. Quite moving. But we're back to normal with the news show. Well, I say back to normal. Nothing about X-Plane this week. I'm very sorry, just haven't had a chance to do anything with X-Plane. To be quite honest, I'm so excited about stuff that's happening with Microsoft. I spent the whole week mucking around with that. As usual, the show's live, it's unscripted, it's just my thoughts as they come, and covering, for the most part, things that the other people aren't talking about. I am, of course, going to talk about Flight Sim 2020 and the latest update. What update? We got some news about that. For Oculus, there's some news about the Quest, the VR headset. We got some add-ons, fly-by-wire. There's an exciting an addition to that coming up, the A320. And for those that want slightly better GPSs, we got some news about that as well. So quite a lot to get through. Getting through it as quickly as possible. So of course we got to talk about world update for Paris and a load of other stuff. Now, a couple of things about it. First of all, the update isn't as well. If you've done the other ones, you'll know this. But if you're new to Flight Sim, let's just say it's not the easiest things to do, is it? First of all, you've got to go to the store, the Microsoft Store, on your PC, and then you upgrade the Flight Sim, and that's about 1.5 gig download. And once you've done that, you need to go into the Sim. And then go into the marketplace, and in the marketplace under the free stuff, he says, comes in, there we go. If we go to the full catalogue and under the free content, you'll see the world update number 4, which you have to download, and away you go. Now, I had a couple of problems with it. First one was I took to the air, flying over Paris, and I think every other flight sim user in the world was also trying to fly over Paris. My frame rates were between 5 and 10 frames. It was awful. It was jittery. It looked bad. Couple of things. It might have been because it was launch day and everyone was over Paris. But the other thing I should have done is clear the cache. And it's not obvious where you go to do it. So I thought I'd show you. Under General. And I thought it might be under Traffic or it might be under Graphics. But it's under none of those, it's in Data. So in Data, down here, it says, scrolling down, the rolling cache. I've got a rolling cache set. I've increased mine from 8 to 20 gig. But you need to switch this off. And this will clear your cache. And then switch it back on again. And if you don't do that, your performance suffers. Quick tip for you. My PC, not the most powerful in the world. In fact, I thought it might be an idea. Let's get rid of that. Just to show you the specs I'm currently running. So all of my flying is in VR. And as you can see, if we scroll down, let me pull it up on my screen. You can see it, but I can't. Okay. Moving that over. So you can see it's a fairly modern i5. The GPU is a 1080 Ti, and you can see down here the spec of my machine. Storage, most of it is SSD, and I do have this Rocket Q M3 drive, which is running Flight Sim, and I've got a physical hard drive there just to run swap, but I don't really need the swap file anymore. I've upped the memory to 32 gig, and my audio, loads of audio on here because I'm using voice meter to do various things, and I think I've done some videos on that before. So anyway, so if you want to know, if you were at all interested, that's the spec. So on to the news and some of the things I found. Now, my go-to is, as I've mentioned this before, is flightsim.to, and the reason I like this is I like the layout, but I found a couple of things that I've been so involved in looking through the site and getting things, I didn't check out everything, and I didn't check out something up here under your membership. So if you go to Mod Manager, this is so useful. You can see all the mods that you've downloaded, and they're the ones I've downloaded, and you can see if any of them need an update, which is really useful. So if I scroll down here, these ones with the yellow tick, there are upgrades available, updates to those plugins, those mods. So really useful, because some of these are updated very frequently. So I like that. Anyway, what did I find on here? Well, I might as well give myself a quick plug while I'm at it. Having a lot of fun with Stream Deck. I think I did a video about that a couple of weeks ago. So I've put together, not all my own work, I've put together a Stream Deck add-on using the XL Stream Deck for the Cessna 172. And it's got the main control panel, it's got the main buttons needed for the GPS, the 530, and I've just the other night added the autopilot controls, and when I get round to it I'll be adding more and more later on. So that is the one I normally go to, and we'll come back. I've got some stuff on there to show you. mfsaddons.org. This has been around quite a while. They promote themselves as being the #1. I'm not sure whether it's still live and whether it's still being worked on. I mean, looking down here, we can see that there were updates on the 14th of March, so not that long ago. But that's mfsaddons.org. Well, I came across this one, mfsaddons.com, and completely different organization. mfsaddons.org is a community based in Australia. This one, got no idea where it's based. I gotta say, I like the layout of this one. I like the news layout, and it's a nice looking site. And on here, I found a couple of things of interest. I found, for example, this. So, the G3000 mod, my working title for your DBM 930. Really nice looking update to the G3000. So I'm going to give that one a try. Haven't spent a lot of time in the TBM. Most of my time is either in Cessna, the Mooney, or the A320. But this does look like a nice plug-in, and it's free. So, got a look at that one. What else did I find? Orbx have released an aeroplane. Well, you know, Orbx are big enough to do their own promotion, so I'm not going to talk about that. This was an interesting one, and I'm not sure whether it got me happy or got me angry. It's the GTN 750, a touch screen GPS unit. There's already a touchscreen being used in the helicopter, which I'll talk about in a second. Now, I was really rushing to download this, but I haven't. And the reason, excuse me, the reason I didn't download it is because I saw this line in here. So it's free. Basic package is free. And there's also a premium upgrade that adds some extended features. And this premium version will be available as a paid subscription. That's what stopped me downloading the free version. I mean, there are some things that I am prepared to pay a subscription for, Navigraph charts, for example, but an instrument add-on. I mean, we've got to see what price he's going to be charging for this, but to pay every month just for using a GPS unit. Now, sorry, I'm not saying anything against the developers. The developers that want to make money from this, they definitely should be allowed to make money. I'm not saying that that's not the way we should be going, but this puppy dog selling of a recurring revenue and all these micro payments just add up over time. And I just don't get why you can't buy a GPS unit. For the X-Plane, I've got a GPS add-on, and that was £49. Not an inexpensive add-on when you consider most of the planes on Microsoft are coming out at sort of £20–30. I've bought an instrument that costs £50, but I was prepared to do that. I can't imagine paying, even if it was only £2 a month, $2 a month. You know, over a year, that's 25. You could be 50–60 quid before you know it. So it's a thumbs down for me. I'd like to give it a try, but I know what'll happen. I'll download it and I'll think it's fantastic and I'll sign up to it. And just these constant. So, bit of advice from me, not that anyone's going to listen to it. Don't put it on a subscription. It's a GPS unit. Just put a price on it. If it's any good, people will pay for it. So, don't like subscriptions. So there's the website. It is free if you want to go and give it a try. And at the moment, the premium version is also free. And you can get an activation key, and there's no charges anywhere for this. It's just when he starts charging, that's going to be too much for me. Anyway, interesting though. I'd love to see it. Moving on. You can drive a car. And yeah, I downloaded it. I gave it a go, and it's great driving around the airport. It's a bit weird. It doesn't steer with your yoke if you got a yoke or your joystick. It steers with your pedals, and the sound on it is annoying because it's got constant gear changing no matter what you're doing. It does move fairly fast. Now, I'm not going to drive it again. If I was making a film about driving around an airport, maybe. But I did what probably most people do, get in the car and drive past my house to see what it looked like. Or drive around London and look at all of that photo scenery. Microsoft is designed for you to look at the scenery from the air, not drive around on it. The roads, this thing will crash. If you're going too fast down the road, the road contours do this and you'll end up on your roof or you crash. But it's great fun on the airport where it's nice and flat. Take it around anywhere else and the roads are going to look awful, the scenery is going to look awful, and this isn't GTA. It's not one of these racing games that's got fantastic photorealistic scenery driving around on. Microsoft Flight Simulator is not made for that. Don't let me put you off trying it though. It is fun. But that's all it is. It's a one-off, in my opinion. So, what else did we find? This. Now, this looks like a fantastic idea for those that are trying to build cockpits on a limited budget. Been around for a while, I know, but found it, and €23. I mean, this is a tablet. Which, there we go. It is a. It's not a projector of the GPS unit in your airplane. This is a standalone unit with most of the important functions on it. And as can be seen in some of these videos here, you can have two of them set up side by side. So if you've got a couple of tablets, an iPad, an Android tablet or whatever, or a Windows touchscreen or anything like that, it's just a browser. You can run these instruments, and for £25, €23, you know, that seems like a steal to me. So if I wasn't a VR flyer, I would definitely be buying this product. And I have used similar products like Air Manager on X-Plane before to bring instruments on my screen, and WebFMC, a fantastic product for X-Plane, very similar to all those, one-off price, no subscription service here, looks good value. I recommend that one, definitely. So, what else did I see? Yes, an upcoming update on the A320 by fly-by-wire. As you can see, it's an update to the tablet, and he's moved things around. So we got the dashboard, it's now looking a lot more modern, clearer. You still got the link into SimBrief. So as long as you put your SimBrief details in, you'll get that up. What else was he showing on here? We've got the plane settings now. Those are in the current tablet, but they're all greyed out. You can't touch them. So you can change the realism settings. You can change the source for your metars, etc., etc. So all those settings are available on the tablet now. You don't have to go down into the MCDU and do this stuff. They're up there on the tablet. Navigraph charts inside the tablet, and this is brilliant news. This is brilliant news for us flying it in VR, and this makes the tablet very similar to Avitab. If you're flying in X-Plane, Avitab's one of the plugins that, and just can't wait for this to come out. I run the developer version of the fly-by-wire, and it gets updated once or twice a day, and they still haven't released yet this I can't remember what they call it, iPad OS 2 or AirTab 2 OS, but that's coming, so can't wait to see that one. And then if you've ever wanted to know where you should be flying and the best scenery to be flying over, particularly when you see all these world updates coming on Microsoft, here's an interesting site I come across. Flight spots, screenshots and flight plans and details of how to get to these places, get the coordinates. There's the Google coordinates, so you can put it straight into the simulator, and screenshots of places that you might want to fly to. There is Stonehenge with the helicopter on. This helicopter, gotta say, when I first tried the Airbus H0135, it was appalling. As someone else commented to me, it was flying a helicopter that flew exactly the same way as flying an aeroplane. It has come on leaps and bounds. I really, really enjoy flying this now. One of the reasons I still have X-Plane on my PC is so I can jump in a helicopter. 4 or 5 helicopters in there, and I just love it. Flying a helicopter in Microsoft with this sort of photo scenery, it is... now, it's not perfect yet. They've still got a lot of work to do, but it's getting there. It really is coming on leaps and bounds, and you should not discount it as being a helicopter that flies like an aeroplane. It is, they're getting better every day. So get the helicopter, and if you want somewhere to fly to, go to Flight Spots. And finally this week, in a rather long-winded Oculus Quest 2. Haven't got one yet. I'm still with the Rift. I'm not sure whether upgrading to the Quest 2 or not is worth it, particularly with my hardware, but I'm getting closer and closer. Anyway, this week they announced support for 120 Hz refresh. This is the same as VR headset that's going to cost you £1,000 in the UK if you can get your hands on it. This is a £300 VR headset. It's going to do 120 Hz and it's going to support PC VR without using virtual desktop. It will just work exactly the same way as the Rift without wires. You know, the time is coming maybe to think about getting this. I wish it wasn't white, but this looks at an incredible value for money for headset, and I am seriously considering getting one. Only I could try one for a couple of weeks, or even try one on. Of course, nowhere in the days of COVID is letting you try this stuff. Anyway, that's the stuff I found this week. I'll be back next week, and there will be some X-Plane news. I've got a couple of items on there, and there's some other stuff I'm working on as well. Until then, as usual, I hope you've had a great week and enjoy your flying, and I hope to catch you again soon. Until then, as usual, take care and goodbye.